Yay. So genuinely, warm welcome, really. So the main point, the core, the heart, the pulse is always going to be this fresh, present, kind, compassionate awareness, presence. It's always going to be the main point. So if you're in a session, like just today, we have a little short, very brief window together. So just like as much as you can, keep that alive. That's the main practice. And anything that's said, thought, reflected, movements, that's all just reminders of just to like be fresh, be in touch, be aware, be kind. All just kind of reminders to keep that going. So just if you get bored, sleepy, interested, just like fresh, kind, present. Just like keep it simple, which actually means essential in this case. So with that in mind, I'm feeling a little more exploratory today. The topic is, how do we make the best dream possible? That's our holding space, our zone of exploration, our adventure world. How do we make the best possible dream? You all feeling a little adventurous? Up?
We can go there.
Yay! All right, so we'll get to the traditional way of beginning, which is 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche. But before that, I thought if we can make a kind of lovely offering. And yesterday was Dakini Day, celebrating all the wisdom enlightened beings, the female expressions, the female wisdom, total amazing omniscient Buddhas. And so we're kind of in that sphere of the great majesty and omniscience of the wisdom Dakinis. So that's kind of holding that space, kind of enjoying that presence. And so thought to just, how do we make the best dream possible? Maybe we begin with like, I don't know, how? So if it's cool, I wanted to invite my dear Dharma brother James to maybe offer a little song offering, to offer to all the wisdom Dakinis, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If you're adventurous, spontaneous, please, if you take 5 minutes and offer some tunes, so a beautiful gift to all the Dakinis, and then we can like freshly maintain our mindfulness, our kindness, and enjoy the offering and make our own offering. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yay, please.
Okay.
So enjoy, relax, enjoy. So enjoy. Fresh awareness, love, compassion, turn it on.
Please accept that. Offering. And forgive my ignorance.
How do we make the best dream possible? So many times in my experience, which is super small and squished and all the, little protracted ways, we kind of often overlook setting the mood, the atmosphere. Just get to the facts. Tell me, just give me the point. What's the info? I'm gonna like ×3 fast speed, get to the thing. But Dharma's alive. We're alive. We're part of it. This is it. This is Dharma. We're in Dharma. We've never not been in Dharma. It's happening. But we forget. But we need to like set the scene, set the stage, poise, show up, be alive, look alive. How do we make the best dream possible? Okay, one reliable way is 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche. This is the spontaneous song, the way that the nature spontaneously emanated when he came into this world as an 8-year-old boy, floating in the sky on a giant lotus surrounded by wisdom Dakinis, all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This was the sound of reality spontaneously happening, 7-line prayer. We still have it. We still have it in writing, and we can like let it move through us, let it totally permeate through the space, let it fill all of New York City, let it be the spontaneous echo of every being's natural heartbeat. Just like that's the question of our view. Like be in a view where the nature of reality can spontaneously arise as 7-line prayer of Guru Padmasambhava. How do we make the best dream possible? So dreamy already. So lovely already. This is like Vajrayana view. This is just core loveliness of how wisdom and compassion shines. So if we're not kind of in touch with that, in tune with that, then we could just let it happen. And we'll say it together, sing it together, enjoy it together. 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche. This is said to embody all the teachings of the Buddha, all the teachings of Guru Rinpoche. There's a lot of commentaries on how that's true. The White Lotus of Mipam Rinpoche. So just let the Dharma happen. It's happening. Be with it. We'll say the 7-line prayer 3 times. Really just enjoy it. And this booklet's 14, if you want that. 14. Jinub Jansam Pema Gesadum Polam Yazen Jugi Nuruming Pema Dune Jesurang Kodu Kanro Mambeko Jeji Jesu Dam Dubjim Jinji Now with this visualization of Guru Rinpoche in the space above us, Guru Padmasambhava, he's in the center of the shrine here. Like you can visualize him, and when we'll recite this prayer one more time, and visualize all these light rays, beams of rainbow lights emanate from Guru Rinpoche's heart center, his body, and just instantly pervade all of space, all of the universe. And it instantly connects with the heart centers of all the beings in the universe. And they, each of us, all of us in this room and everywhere, just spontaneously start radiating this wisdom, compassion, bliss energy as rainbow lights in all directions, filling all of space with wisdom, compassion, love, power. And then at the end of that recitation, with all these rainbow lights just permeating all of the universe, ourselves, all beings, teeny parts, big parts, just everywhere, then all the world dissolves back into Guru Rinpoche, the whole universe. And then Guru Rinpoche dissolves into a little sphere of rainbow light. That rainbow light dissolves into our crown chakra, top of our head, and goes down into our heart chakra. And then we totally merge and mingle inseparably with the wisdom and compassion of all reality, all the Buddhas, all the Dakinis, all the Dakas. And then we'll just relax and just be that for a minute together. Hong O Jin Yu Ji Nu Chan Sam Pema Ge Sa Dom Bolam Ya Zin Ju Gi Nu Du Ni Pema Ju Ne Jesu Rak Kodu Gan Ro Ma Be Ko Jeji Jesu Dam Du Ji Jinji Lom Universe dissolves into Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche dissolves into you. Just relax. There's nothing to do but just keep being fresh, present, loving, kind, open, relaxed, bodhicitta. So the heart essence of all these highest, innermost, essential, most simple, most distilled teachings of the Buddha, called Dzogchen, or great completion, great perfection, the heart essence, heart practice, quickest way to be that, be natural, is Guru Yoga. All the great masters say this in Vajrayana Buddhism. So we just did a very short, condensed Guru Yoga. So then how do we prepare ourselves or set the scene, set the stage for like the tremendous impact of being natural? Amazing loveliness of being natural. How do we set the scene in ourselves, in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies to just enjoy that, allow that, believe that, confidently, without doubt, just enjoy. Always bedrock is called renunciation. We renounce all these causes of suffering, all the ways we keep stirring the pot. Distraction, I'm not good enough, this couldn't be, it's too simple. We renounce all that. And so I'm more in a little exploratory mode today, which in Vajrayana context often means very traditional. Haha. So what I'm going to do today is just read some words of His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, Jigdral Yeshe Dorje. Come to the Bowery. This is one of the main heart centers of Guru Rinpoche, of Dudjom Rinpoche's activities in New York City in the 80s. This is like the beating heart of so much Dharma that came into this country and into the so-called West, or this contemporary modern age. This room, His Holiness in this room. And I feel like His presence hasn't been, in one way, highlighted enough here for a little bit. So I wanted to just speak His words. This is like bedrock Dharma, called Heart Essence of the Great Masters. So then I read this. This is like just the words of Guru Rinpoche, of His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, Jigdral Yeshe Dorje. Just like allow them to really just totally infuse you. Just absorb them naturally. This is like a really living Buddha of our times, Supreme Head of Nyingma School. And just echoing these words like is a million times more valuable than anything I would say here. Like, so just let the wisdom of His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche's just Vajra speech just pervade the space, pervade your being, and just allow its freshness, its like perfect clarity and vision to just utterly saturate this room, this city, this world, this universe. Heart essence of the great masters. Root Guru, precious and most kind, Lord of the mandala, soul unfailing lasting refuge, with your compassion take hold of me, working only for this life, not keeping death in mind, wasting this free, well-favored human birth. Human life lasting an instant, like a dream. It might be happy, it might be sad, not wishing for joy, not avoiding sadness. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This human life, like a butter lamp set out in the wind, it might last a long time, or it might not. Not letting ego's hold tighten further, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. A life of luxury, like a bewitching apparition, it might come to pass, or it might not. With the ways of the 8 worldly dharmas cast away like chaff, May I truly practice the sublime teachings. All these underlings, like a bunch of birds in a tree, they might surround me, they might not letting others lead me around by the nose. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This illusory body, like a rotting 100-year-old house, it might last, it might fall into dust, not caught up in efforts to get food or clothes or medicines. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This Dharma behavior, like a child's game, it might go on or it might not. Undeceived by things that don't really matter. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. All these gods and spirits, like a mirror's reflections, they might give help or they might do harm. Not seeing my own deluded visions to be enemies, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. All this confused chatter, traceless as an echo, it might be interesting or it might not. With the three jewels in my own mind bearing witness, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. Things that, like a deer's antlers, may prove useless in a time of real need. I might know them or I might not placing my confidence merely in the arts and sciences. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. These gifts and money given by the faithful, like deadly poison, I might receive them, I might not spending my life trying to accumulate evil earnings. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This lofty station, like dog shit wrapped in satin, I might have it, I might not. Knowing my own rottenness at first hand, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. Friends and family, like travelers who have come together for a fair, they might be vicious, they might be loving, cutting attachments tough cord from the heart. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. All these possessions, like the wealth found in a dream, I might own them, I might not using tact and flattery to turn others' heads. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This rank in the hierarchy, like a tiny bird perched on a branch. It might be high, it might be low, without making myself miserable, wishing for a better position. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Practicing the spells of black magic like deadly weapons, I might be able to cast them or I might not buying the knife that cuts my own throat open. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Doing prayers like a parrot saying Om Mani Padme Hum, I might do them, I might not. Without boasting about whatever I do, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. The way one teaches the Dharma like flowing water, I might be expert or I might not. Without thinking that mere eloquence is Dharma, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. Intellect that makes quick discrimination like a rooting pig. Intellect that makes quick discrimination like a rooting pig. It might be dull, it might be sharp. Not allowing the barbs of pointless anger and attachment to arise, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. Meditation experiences like well water in summer, they may increase, they may lessen, without doing as children do, chasing after rainbows. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This pure perception, like rain on a mountaintop, it might arise or it might not. Without taking deluded experience to be real, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. These freedoms and favorable conditions, like a wish-fulfilling jewel, if they're lacking, there is no way to accomplish the holy Dharma. Not throwing away what's already in my own hand, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. The glorious Guru, like a lamp that lightens the way to liberation. If I cannot meet him, there is no way to realize the true nature. Not jumping off a cliff when I know the path to go on. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. The holy Dharma, like a medicine to cure disease. If I don't hear it, there is no way to know what should be done and not done. Not swallowing poison when I can tell benefit from harm. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This changing cycle of joy and sorrow, like a changing seasons. If this isn't seen, there's no way to achieve renunciation. as it's sure that a time of suffering will come round to me. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Samsara like a stone fallen deep into water. If I don't get out now, I won't get out later. Pulling myself out by the rope of the compassionate three jewels, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. Liberation's good qualities like an island of jewels. If they aren't known, there's no way to begin to make efforts. Having seen the advantage of permanent victory, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. The life stories of the great masters, like the essence of Amrita, if they aren't known, there is no way for confidence to arise. Not choosing self-destruction when I can tell victory from defeat. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Bodhicitta like a fertile field. Unless it's cultivated, there's no way to achieve enlightenment. Not staying idle when there is a great aim to be accomplished. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. My own mind like a monkey's nonsense. Without keeping guard, there is no way to avoid the conflicting emotions. Not acting without restraint like a lunatic. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Ego like a shadow one is born with. Until it's abandoned, there is no way to reach a place of real joy. When the enemy is in my clutches, why treat him as a friend? May I truly practice the sublime teachings. The five poisons like hot embers among ashes. Until they're destroyed, one can't remain at rest in the natural state. Not raising baby vipers in my pockets. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This mind stream, like the tough hide of a butter bag, if it's not tamed and softened, one can't mix mind with Dharma. Without spoiling the child that is born of itself, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. These ingrained bad habits, karmic traces, like the strong currents of a river, if they aren't cut, one can't avoid acting contrary to Dharma. Without selling weapons to my enemies, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. These distractions like never-ending waves, if they aren't given up, there is no way to become stable. When I can do as I like, why practice samsara? May I truly practice the sublime teachings. The Lama's blessings, like spring warming up soil and water, if they don't enter into me, there's no way to be introduced to the nature of mind. When there is a shortcut, why take the long way around? May I truly practice the sublime teachings. This retreat in the wilderness, like summer in a lush place where herbs grow, if I don't remain there, there's no good way for qualities to be born. When high up in the mountains, don't wander back into black towns. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Desire for pleasure like a bad luck spirit entering the house. If I'm not free of it, I'll never stop working toward suffering. Not making offerings to voracious ghosts as my personal gods. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Mindfulness like the lock on a castle gate. If it is lacking, one can't stop the movements of illusion. When the thief is surely coming, why forget to bar the door? May I truly practice the sublime teachings. The true nature unchanging like the sky. Until it's realized, one can't completely resolve doubts as to the view. Not letting myself be chained by theories. May I truly practice the sublime teachings. Awareness like a flawless piece of crystal. Until it's seen, intentional meditation cannot dissolve. When there's an inseparable companion, why go off looking for another? May I truly practice the sublime teachings. The face of ordinary mind like an old friend. If it's not seen, all that one does is misleading. Without groping in the darkness of my own closed eyes, may I truly practice the sublime teachings. In short, without giving up this life's preoccupations, there's no way to accomplish the sacred teachings after death. Having decided to show myself great kindness, May all that I do be toward the Dharma. May I not have wrong views towards the lama, who, in accord with the Dharma, has given instruction. May I not lose faith in the yidam when misfortunes occur. May I not put off practice when circumstances are hard. May there be no obstacles to gaining siddhi. All these activities are pointless, like making a great tour of a wasteland. All this trying just makes my mind stream more rigid. All this thinking only adds to confusion, to confusion, to confusion. All that passes for Dharma to ordinary people only makes for further binding. So much activity, nothing comes of it. So much thinking, no point to it. So much wanting, no time for it. Having given this up, may I be able to practice according to instructions. If I must do something, let Buddha's teachings bear it witness. If I must do something, mix mind stream and Dharma. If I must accomplish something, read the life stories of past masters. What's the use of other things? Spoiled brat, take a low seat, and become rich with contentment. Try hard to get free of the 8 worldly dharmas. May the Lama's blessings enter into me. May my realization become equal to the sky. Grant blessings that I may reach Kuntun Zampo's throne. We'll just silently meditate for a few minutes. How do we make the best dream possible? Time to wake up. In the mid-60s, 1960s, or here, I asked Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche once, like on a walk in Florida. He's like, oh, how did the Fundamental History of Nyingma School, over 1,000-page book by His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, Jigdor Yoshe Dorje. How'd that come about? And Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche said, in the mid-1960s, when all the Tibetan refugees were in the most desperate situation they'd been in centuries, scattered like the wind, all refugees, if they could even make it out of Tibet, there was a really genuine concern if the Dharma was going to continue. Because people were just dying of dysentery and just like exhaustion and heat and food, diarrhea. I mean, it's just so like hard time if they weren't just being murdered, right? So people who made it to places like India, then there was this really concern, like how's Dharma going to sustain this thing that's Guru Rinpoche brought 8th century to Tibet, that's been maintained unbroken, totally pure and perfect. Before that, all the way back to the Buddha, 1400 years before that. Really, how are we going to keep this? It's a really big question for the Tibetans at that time. In mid-1960s, all of a sudden this book came out, Fundamental History of the Nyingma School. His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, with very limited resources, had taken about a year or so to write down all the essential points of the Nyingma school. The philosophy, the history, the biographies of great masters, the different cycles, the practice instructions. All the Tibetans, the Nyingmapas, were like, yes! It's going to survive. It's all here. They looked at it, they're like, I can't believe this. It's all here. Boom. They're like, we can do this. We're going to make it. The Dharma's going to make it. This is His Holiness. This is the capacity of such a being as His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche. Just come out. If you ever get the opportunity to look through this book, even flipping through it, open to it randomly, take some time to read it. This is amazing that such a book exists. Like this would be the life accomplishment of like a genius scholar practitioner being if they put every little bit an ounce of their effort into it. And His Holiness did this in a time when they had nothing. Constantly people were coming to him for advice. This happened, my kid, my parents, and this, pray for these people in this situation, and this horror story, and that horror story, and horrible, horrible, horrible. He comes out with this book. I mean, what have we been through? What have I been through? It's like Prince, man. It's total Prince. But makes such big deal out of so much and miss the main point. Like His Holiness is pointing to with these words, this heart essence of the great masters. How to make the best dream possible. His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche in the early 80s asked the Venerable Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche to come to New York City to help with his Dharma there, Dharma activity, which means here. Yeshe Ningpo. What is it, around 9th Street?
No,
19? 16?
Yeah.
Still happening. And Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche at the time was head of Nyingma department in Sarnath, like Varanasi University as it's known now, or it's like Tibetan University. And he said, I'm sorry, I can't. I have so many responsibilities here. Like I'm doing these things here. Your Holiness is so, I'm so, I wasn't in the room for the conversation, but basically is like very respectfully declined. And then again, sometime later, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche asked Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche again, really, I want you to come help in New York City with my activities here. And again, Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche said, I really can't. It's not, I'm very responsible for these things here. Third time, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche asked, I want you to come help with my Dharma activities in the West, Yeshe Ningpo. This is a Vajra command. If you don't come, you're breaking Samaya with me. Khenchen Rinpoche said, I'm coming. Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche, his brother, both came. Started living in Yeshe Ningpo, 16th Street. Stayed there until His Holiness entered Mahaparinirvana in 1987. We're enjoying this. This is all the His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche's activities. His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche was so kind. Then, of course, John Giorno, who was also helping Yeshe Ningpo at the time as a volunteer, he gifted this space for His Holiness, like free, open, come use this. This is a Dharma space. This is like one of the main Dharma centers in the world. This room. During our time, so much has happened in this room. He was so kind. John Giorno had PBC, Padmasambhava Buddhist Center, which was founded by Khenpo Rinpoches in the late 80s after His Holiness entered Mahaparinirvana. They're doing practices here all very regularly in this room. Year after year after year after year, they still are. Kindness of His Holiness, kindness of John Giorno and Ugo. This is a living Dharma field. But we're part of it. We're a part of that wisdom current of His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche, Venerable Khenpo Rinpoches. This is like their activity. We're like part of it. We're extensions of that. It's important to remember. It's not just like a morning, you know. This is like real Dharma happening in a time where it's needed. People need freshness. I do. Kindness, compassion, presence, clarity. Just being. Just be. It's so needed. It's always samsara needed. This is like always, and we have everything we need to be this. Again and again, we encounter these teachings. We encounter masters who embody these teachings as like their every waking moment, every sleeping moment. They are bodhicitta. They are Dharma. They've just totally mingled their lives with Dharma. These are how we do it. These instructions from His Holiness. In a big way, we could just call it renunciation. This means renouncing all the things that don't support, like fresh goodness to be on now. And little by little, we just have to see how, be kind to ourselves. Like, oh, this is not, this other thing that I'm so something with, it's not helping me. I could be enlightened this life. I can make this the best dream possible for every being I'll ever encounter ever again, every moment. It's like best, what's best? It always depends. Dream, always going to be a dream. It's endless dream. But these great Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they really have accomplished how to do that, how to make the best dream possible for all the beings forever, exactly as the perfect dream appearance for that exact being right in the moment that it's happening. Then the being shifts, then the dream shifts. These beings just completely skillfully, just utterly spontaneously, naturally, it's just Dharma happening. They're just Dharma happening. I forget the year. It was like maybe, I forget exactly, maybe 2018. There's a time when His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche's upstate center, ODD, or not ODD, Orjin Chozong, OCD, which His Holiness established in person there. And Venerable Khenpo Rinpoche, they were there. They went there so many times. His Holiness is doing activities there. But 2018-ish, there's a YouTube video of when one of the reincarnations of His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche was there. He's leading a Riwa Sancho practice. One of His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche's sons, Namgyal Rinpoche, had invited His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche, Tenzin Yeshe Dorje, to come there. He's from Bhutan. And he came. And I happened to be there with whichever Sangha members that were PSL and wanted to go. Rinpoche, oh, we're going now. Anyone to come? Come. We come. And he's a young man, this reincarnation of His Holiness, 20s, early 20s. And we were all sitting just by the big stupa there. And there's chairs set up, and we were going to do Ryo Sancho and a Vajrakalaya, Dujam Tersar Vajrakalaya practice. And we're sitting there. And then His Holiness, this Yangtze, reincarnation of His Holiness, comes out. And then everyone stands up. He's just wearing like flip-flops. Little like beach flip-flops with like blue straps. I really remember those flip-flops. And he walks and he comes and sits down on the seat. Everyone's like, wow. And then we sit down and we start the just start as we always do. Nyingma, 7-line prayer. And we get into the Vajrakalaya sadhana. We're about like 2 minutes into the practice from start. 2 minutes in. Go right into it, get to the main mantra section. It's just short sadhana. It's like, okay, break. I was like, really? Wow. They like pass out croissants and tea to everyone. It was like literally like 2-3 minutes into the session. I was like, wow, this is so interesting. I had a little flip camera thing. I was videoing things. I was like, this is so interesting. I happened because I had this phone, is like where I was sitting and where His Holiness Jujum Tenzin Yeshe Dorje was sitting was like me to you, like kind of like that. And so I got up and did video. You can see on YouTube. Look up Dujum, you know, you'll see they get the right date and all that of how the place was at that time, that moment. And it was so striking to me. Because I was sitting behind him, and then the break ended. And then went into the puja. It was a good puja, long puja, Vajrakalaya. They did Dharma really fast, and everyone's like, and they're like done it a million times. They're all doing. But the thing that really stood out to me, and according to my very small-minded, limited view, His Holiness, just from right now being around him, utterly natural, completely at ease. Like literally, I could see he was like sitting in a chair. Like as I'm looking, see his feet. They were like kind of crossed, just like on the ground with flip flops, and he's doing puja, and his feet are just kind of like. I was like, he was like perfectly elegant, at ease, utterly total spacious naturalness. Being near him was like easy breezy Dharma. It's like, man, you were a total sphere of like, it was like, it wasn't even big deal. It was like so not a big deal that it was so apparently, obviously blatant, hit you over the head. Like, this is so simple. So easy. He was just literally uncontrived. This very big Dzogchen word. Non-fabricated. Totally effortless. Gorgeous, beautiful, as he just like moved his feet. I mean, it was just astonishing. Like, I've never been around, like, I've never had an experience where it was like so blatantly obvious how like naturally uncontrived and at ease someone was. And that's His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche. Lama Lorraine, who's at PSL, who's like served Venerable Khenpo Rinpoches for decades now, almost 40 years now, who served as a secretary of His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche. She said His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche was like the eye of the storm. So much activity going around him. But he was like, almost like they say, like a little child. Totally at ease. People would come to him so easy. This is the kind of being that produces a 1,000-page text that's the definitive, all you need to know for the Nyingma school to be fully intact and survive in the most hard, difficult, challenging, tragic time of Tibetans. This is like his palace. We're students of His Holiness. All these masters, all the Vajrayana masters, they're all children of His Holiness. We're all the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whether we know it or not. This is all through His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, which means Guru Rinpoche, region of Guru Rinpoche, which means emanation of Buddha, which, I mean, it's just, we're so fortunate. How do we make the best dream possible? We just follow in the footsteps, take their teachings to heart. One by one, little by little, all of it will be total, perfect, good medicine for us. then we just, the question for us, just keep showing up, keep enjoying, keep being fresh, keep being loving, keep being kind. And it gets very simple. How to make the best dream possible. In one way, it's so simple and so important. This is like heart of Bodhisattva. You know, it's just another way to say, what is bodhicitta? So that's the opening. Anybody want to like join the play? Join in.
I can say a Dechen Rinpoche story.
Go for it.
Very early in my path in Dharma, just studying, I was with Zen. I studied Zen for a number of years. But my Roshi was close with the Chogyam Trungpa, and already, like, we were building a stupa. I worked on this stupa to hold the relics. Some of the relics of Trungpa Rinpoche was given to the Dharma Center, and we were building a place for it. And then I heard from a friend there was a tantric teacher who was super hidden and only taught people he had karmic connection with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very intrigued. I met a number of his students, and they were just beautiful, relaxed, kind of turned on folks. All married with kids.
Okay, yeah.
They were older, and I was a young guy, single. So there was this delay, like it was several months. And then I did this solo retreat, and I was doing my Zen practice and doing some Jungian depth work.
Okay.
And I had a very curious dream. Best dream possible. Someone gets up on the bed and starts giving me body work on my lower back, my butt, my thighs. And it feels wonderful, like all this stress gunk comes out. And I sit up in bed. I mean, it's a dream, but I'm really feeling this. It's a physical thing. And I sit up in the bed, and I'm like, want to thank this person. It's Dechen Rinpoche in full regalia, like he is dressed like Padmasambhava. Magnificent. And I've never seen this before. And I'm trying to think and put it into words to say, who are you? And it just like can't come. And he takes off his hat and shows me inside of it. I'm trying to still say, you know, who is this? Who are you? And then he becomes a 2-year-old girl. I'm like, oh, who are you? I'm trying to ask this 2-year-old girl. And she grows before my eyes in her age to this beautiful young woman. And it pops me out of the dream. I just can't comprehend. And I get a call within 5 minutes. My friend is like, Fritz will see you this morning. And he gives me the address. That was the name of this spiritual teacher. So I go to this kind of sleazy part of town, and it's behind the only stripper joint in Little Santa Rosa back then. And it goes in, but there's like this zone, kind of low income housing, and there's a guy sitting out in front, smoking a cigarette. He's got a cap. mirrored sunglasses.
Hmm.
I'm like, where's the spiritual teacher?
Hmm.
This is the reality is getting very dreamlike.
Okay.
He's like, come on in. And there's folks sitting in the living room and they're all on couches and there's a spot for me. And then his body he can't walk too well.
Hmm.
He plops down on this green chair. And it's quiet, and then he asks, so what brought you here?
Hmm.
And then I'm like just fresh with this dream.
Hmm.
And I'm like, just had this dream. And he's like, okay, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Go down the hall. Last door on the right.
Hmm.
Take a look at the side of the bed.
Hmm.
I walk down there, and it's like the guru's bedroom. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is very intimate.
Mm-hmm.
By the side of the bed, there's a little photo.
Hmm.
First photo I've seen of His Holiness Yigdra Yashe Dorje.
Hmm.
Bam.
Hmm.
But he's, it's like, oh, that's who I saw
Mm-hmm.
in the dream.
Yay.
So I go back and I sit down. I'm like, okay, this guy's for real. Whatever's going on here, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
It was the beginning of like 5-year mentorship. He's a spiritual friend, not a teacher, not a lama. It's incredible.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
We had been talking before
Yeah.
the
And then you, Brian.
the session started, and
Yeah.
I was saying how I was I don't know how this well, I do know how this person came into my life, a Dharma friend, and she had been an early student of Dechen Rinpoche, and even though she was based out in California, she was here in New York when this place was set up, and Geshe Ningpo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm halfway through my life now. I'm 56, and I think to myself, I've been in New York for all my life. I've lived in Chelsea all my life, and for most of it, Geshe Ningpo's just been there, and it took so long for, it took this long for me to actually see it, have enough, I don't know, merit or to actually see it, and meet a friend who knew, your story sort of resonates with me because, in my 20s and stuff, I would see a picture of Dilgo Khyentse, and I would just be in love, but I would read and read and read, but I didn't have the good fortune to meet anyone that was part of the lineage, so it's a special time, but it's interesting the way these kind of things come into your life, huh? They've been there all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
And he used to say something, I heard from my friend that Dechen Rinpoche used to say something to her all the time about renunciation, and she'd get very, very, very uptight and very, very into whatever political thing was going on at the time, and she'd be like, they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that, and and he'd look at her and go, oh, Sandra, I see that you're still choosing either one side of samsara or the other. I see you're still choosing to.
Yeah. So hard. The dream can see so real. I don't know. That's just, there's a lot there. That's just strong. Oh, that's really strong. Yeah. Feel we can.
But just that one little, that ability to stop you right where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Yeah.
That's good. Huh. Yeah. Go down the hall. See the photo. Yeah. Just cut. Yeah. All those ways. Wow. So there's another cut, which I didn't. So very venerable Gyatso Rinpoche. He's one of His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche's close students. He was asked to lead Yeshe Ningpo in the west coast of the USA. And he did that. Like started Touch Choling and ODD, Orjin Dorje Den. And like was just so committed to His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche, Digdar Yeshe Dorje, and really beautiful being, lived to be very old. And as he was getting older and older into his 90s, then his students, they would love him, you know, they love Very Venerable Gyatso Rinpoche, and they're asking, oh, you know, when you, this close students, like close core, like very, like in the living room all the time, caring for him, kind of close students. Oh, Gyatso Rinpoche, you've invited so many masters here to ODD, and this, you know, who should we rely on? Every Sangha gets to this time. Who should we rely on when you pass, you know? And no hesitation. Very Venerable Gyatso Rinpoche said, oh, Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche is like the beating heart of Dudra Rinpoche. Rely on him. And these masters are going. That generation of masters, one by one, it's like a handful of them left. Really. In this world, there's very few now. And they're coming back to our tremendous fortune. They're coming back. We must have a lot of merit to have them keep coming back. And we really need to make more merit for them to keep coming back and have all their activities be perfectly supported and instanced for the benefit of all beings. But these beings are still around, so valuable. In one way, there's always going to be a reason to keep doing samsara. There's always going to be a reason to like not take Dharma as close and intimately as we could. There's always, and it's going to seem like a really good reason because we keep choosing it. But really, we really do ourselves a favor. Find a reliable guide. Really reliable guide. Like His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche. Like there's many great masters, but like of that generation, it's very, and that's not find a reliable guide so they do it for you. It's find a reliable guide so they help to make it so much easier for us to do this very hard undoing of just being at ease. We've really self-bound so much tension where then someone says, be at ease, be natural. And instantly we're like, how? Or now what? Or just there's so many ways where we just like we don't let it in. And I say this I mean me. We're just like, just Dharma is that. Dharma's not this. And so until Dharma is everywhere and we can see it like exactly, not just it's all a dream, but like impermanence, renunciation, great bliss, awareness, openness, like really it's all Dharma happening, all teachings, like where it's just like we've really mingled with the wisdom blessings of the lineage. So we really are just reality, just happening. Not there's reality and here's me and not, or here's reality and that's not it. Like where it's really all Dharma, then we're on the path till we get there. And when we're on the path, it's like do ourselves a favor, find someone who's been there, done that. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. Anyone else on the jump? Yeah, we have time. And it could be anything. Please, Laurel,
I wanted
yay.
to say, so talking about ease and like true nature, and I was on the train last night coming home, and there was this family, and they had this little baby, and it was like not even its speaking age, like less than a year, maybe 6 months or something, maybe 8 months. And the baby started smiling at everybody, and it was like everybody responded, like they were awake to this baby's presence. So the baby would smile, and then people were smiling, and then they would wave, and then the baby didn't really even know how to wave yet, but he was kind of like a little bit like trying to figure it out. And it was like everybody in the section of the train car was just like, I just felt the love. Like this little baby just being its relaxed, happy self, like woke everybody up to their humanness and their love and compassion. And you know, it was like there was a whole diverse kind of people on the train, but it was this one baby being open and loving and like wanting to smile and reach out. It just made like I felt so good. It was like this little like, it was like shooting like this like invisible threads like through all of us, and then we were all smiling at each other, and then anyway, it was just a moment where I said to the baby, I said, as the baby kept looking at me, I said, oh, so much to do, there's so much to see, and I see you. And the baby just smiled, and it was like glowing, like everybody on the train car was glowing. And it was like, oh, see, that's how we all, hopefully, like, unless something really traumatic happens when we're a little baby, like, we come into this world like that. And it's just a reminder that we're, at the very core of it, we all are that. And we just need like a reminder. And it was just a really nice moment. So I just wanted to share that.
You know, the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in his book How to Actually See Yourself, he uses an example almost exactly like that. He says, if you saw a little baby in the road in distress, no one would leave it. Everyone, like, their heart just opens up immediately. And yeah, it's a perfect example.
Yeah, Tsok Rinpoche, the great Nyingma master, he calls it essence love. The like natural, spontaneous, just love, brightness, kindness, joy, glee, delight that we have. Like there's like glimmers of it when we're young. It's just like not, you know, we just like do it. I haven't kind of like accrued in a one way or doubted or kind of gotten like all that. Essence love. And the thing now is like, how do we reconnect? How do we make it the best dream possible? And that's like kind of where we begin this openness a little bit. The inquiry, the exploration is like how to set the scene. It's really suitable to try to skillfully set a scene. Like make the atmosphere just like sparkly, little kind of like, it's okay here. Enjoy, show up. If you're good, James, will you do like a background music offering to like have and then we'll keep like doing the inquiry as you like make the offering, but like background, so like enjoy, like essence love, and then we'll keep doing it, and just like note, what does it do? Like what's the difference? You know, setting the scene, like we're in the middle of an inquiry here. Like how does it change it? Maybe do one by one here. Maybe James, you start, and then see after Kadak if you just like tune into what he's doing, if you would. How's it, Alice? What's up? Asa, you got something?
No, I don't have anything to share, but
Cool.
Yeah, I love the stories being shared. And I do think the background is just like a good analogy for like setting the scene for sort of like kind of attending to just like the space in which we're sharing.
Yeah.
I think that's also good.
Cool. Yay. Yeah. And maybe Kadak, if you wait, we'll do a Dakini Puja if you're here. Do the music there, then is okay. We'll just let this. Otherwise, we'll just hold. Mitch.
teachings and the stories in the room. It's really powerful. It's just very open, and I really like this idea of lineage as the teaching. And this, a student the other day told me about Dechen Rinpoche's book called Torch Lighting the
Way to Freedom.
Way to Freedom. And that the lineage is the torch, that it's like the one light coming through. And I love the Proverbs you read. Why kick it on the mountain and then go back into the dark villages, he says. And I really like that because I relate to what people were saying about kind of wandering on the path for a long time. And I would get glimpses and go back into the dark villages and go back into all these old patterns of behaviors and whatever. And when you get into this stuff, I really relate to what he says in the reading too, that like a lot of the distractions sort of fall away. And you get to like that essence thing. It's like, why would I go play around with this like old stuff that I know is not fulfilling in the end? Because I find this practice and this whole stupa and all of it like very mysterious. It's very strange. The dreams that are being communicated, it's very like outside my. He's like, why obsess on the arts and sciences when there's this other thing here? And it's a really wild framework. It like opens up a wide space, and I like this idea of the Rinpoche in the middle with the chaos around it, and that there's this sort of peaceful light in the middle. Because I think in my experience of the samsaric confusions, I really like I get lost. And so to know that like no, there's like kind of one thing and it's continuous, and knowing that it's on both ends. Because I used to go to the Vipassana in Shelburne Falls. That was my introduction to the Dharma, and the song he would sing every time is the first words the Buddha said when he was enlightened. And the first words he said were, "Thank you to all the Buddhas before me and all the Buddhas after me." And those were his first words. And that always hit me, that it was like there was this whole ocean behind and in front. And I'll close with this, like I think the great like modern thing is like alienation and loneliness and only me and I have this and this kind of self-obsession. And what you open today is like it's like a river, and like there's a lot of folks on it. There's a lot of people, and when I can get out of that self-finding, I have a lot more freedom. But when I go back into that self stuff, I'm really like I'm stuck. So
It's a Western challenge. I feel that in some ways it's, our Western mindset. And, to be introduced to, the thought of a lineage, not just one important individual. Many.
Well, I'll just add real quick, like, because I do the poetry thing too, so like the William Burroughs bedroom over there is like part of the lineage. I can tell you the poets who lived in the Bowery, and I know the poets who died on the street outside, and it's like, there is like a true lineage, like in all traditions, like in the family lineage, and the dharmic lineage. Like, for me, when I got introduced to those and found people that were holders of the tradition, of the poetic tradition, because Ginsberg and Trump were really my first teachers. When I found those people, were like, no, read William Blake, go back to the Greeks, etc. And it's the same with the Buddhist thing. And so like those, and the image that always has helped me the most is the mandala. That it's this huge field, and that it's cool and it's interactive, and that's like what's really helped me a lot.
Yay. Wow, so two things that come to mind. Like I oftentimes just share something pop in my head. So it's like, forgive that. Who knows what pops? But we look at a mandala, like usually it's thought of as like this round thing out there that's like this flat thing we look at. And what it actually is like whatever the sadhana is, the kind of sacred world that we're kind of like opening into and participating with. Like it's actually, we're at the center of that mandala. So it's actually a world. And so the mandala isn't this thing we look at. It's actually, we're at the center of the world. There's this mandala, and that mandala that we're in is actually the entire universe. And so it's like that way's east, and over here in this zone of reality is just all these beings and activities. Anyway, as a meditative support, like it's like looks like a little image out there, but it's actually saying what world am I in now? Like, what's the sacred worlding of this way of being enlightened? Like, that's kind of what a mandala is. And it's not as if one world only has a world in it. One of the things that's really obvious walking around New York City is like every little teeny tiny little place you go in New York City is like this bursting world of beings and histories and trauma and excitement and depression and like storefront to store to store to and they constantly are changing. It's like, and so is every little spot of anything we'll ever experience. It's just these bursting overlaps of worlds. And so we start with just like an easy to like kind of in one way kind of approach, like one world, and like how am I at the center? And what this all comes down to is like having confidence in Buddha nature. Or in the more like tantric way, like having confidence in Rigpa or wisdom, compassion, being okay that it's just, it is here. It is, that is the way world is. Wisdom and compassion, to have really clear, unflinching, unwavering, totally flow with it confidence. And that's like the bedrock of Vajrayana view, Vajrayana approach. And it's the heart of the Bodhisattva, Buddha nature, of all beings. That means everyone's the center of their mandala. And we're all these bursting worlds interacting to co-create these worlds that temporarily enjoy company and dissolve like dreams. Just these, all these worlds of dreams coming together. And it's like, how can I elegantly be a participant of all these worlds at the same time? Small, quiet, big, loud, fast, slow, French, Spanish, like all these worlds, human, non-human. And like the bodhisattvas are like, really, how can I care for all of it? Like helpfully, skillfully. Like that's the urgent. And I'm not saying just conceptually, like, how can I do it? Let me figure it. It's like just to be so natural that they gain the ability, like you just naturally start syncing up with other worlds, ways of being that are like, it's what we do all the time. It's kind of the one of the superpowers of a human embodiment. As you come into a room and it's like, what's the lighting? What's the temp? Who's here? Is there danger? How am I? Like, what's my role here? Like, we're constantly doing this multi-world building, like in this genius way. It's not just like numbers, ones and zeros. It's like, we're constantly doing this like worlding. And it's just like, how do we use that ability to do it in a way that's based on compassion and wisdom, which is to say, that's just natural. James, you're, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's interesting because like when I first learned to meditate, they're like, the instruction that I got was like, focus on a candle flame, focus on one spot.
Yeah.
And then like I learned, like I started focusing on mandalas and thinking of it, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting because it's like moving. Like when I look at it, it's like I don't know, because I also have an eye condition, so I don't know if that's part of it, but like I see the shapes almost as if they're like animated, like in a kaleidoscope, and the energy of the shapes and the colors, the energy moves in a direction, like based on, is it pointed in a certain area? And then I think about, like, if you look at an ice crystal under a microscope, it looks like a mandala. And then I think about how, like, the theories of, like, the universe is constantly expanding. I think of that as, like, a mandala that's just continually, like, it just continues. It just continues. It
Wild,
just continues. Right? Like, the shapes continue. And then you think about, like, the orbits of planets are going in a circle, and they're continuing, and it's like boom, boom, like it just goes on. So it's so funny that it's like very reassuring, but it's also very busy.
So busy.
Like, to look, it's like very busy. It's a reminder that it's always moving and always growing and always expanding.
Alive.
Yes,
it's alive.
It's very alive. Yes.
And that a part of that life is like a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
Like it popped in my mind when you mentioned this, Gabriella, and we'll pop to you, that in India, when Zigor Khenpo Rinpoche, another great Nyingma master, he was on pilgrimage in India, and like they were experiencing this in Varanasi.
Mhm.
It was just wow, you know, like.
Oh, Varanasi, yeah, in general.
And part of what was happening there, that these Westerners, his students, Zigor Khenpo Rinpoches, kept coming. They were walking on the street in Varanasi, and they'd find these babies,
Mm.
Oh,
like 2-month-old baby,
yeah.
just in the middle of a sidewalk.
Mhm.
Just no parent, just crying. These Westerners are like, whose baby is this? Like, this baby is like Sunny. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wait, what do we want to do? You know? And like, what are you gonna do?
And you know that.
And Zigor Khenpo Rinpoche is like, this is a thing that people do now. To get money just because they're starving. These poor people, it's like put their baby on the street and have people come, and then
Leave things.
that's the way. That's like samsara is wild. There's the like horror version of wild, like heartbreaking, like I all these beings, when you really take First Noble Truth to heart, like the heartbreak of First Noble Truth, when you start being like, it's not just my suffering, it's like other beings suffering. I mean, a heartbreak enough of my own suffering. Like, wow, this is so hard, and I'm doing this to myself mainly. Whoa, like whoa, you know, like oh, and we're all doing that, and like we're like lost, confused, like literally wanderers. Drowa, like sentient being is like a wanderer, like lost, like just. And like, and the pure version of that, which is another point, wild. That's the way Eric Pema Kunzang, a Dharma translator, that's how he translates wrathful.
Ah.
It's the wild Buddhas. Not angry. His teacher, Choni Rinpoche, is like, oh, wrathful, people think that's like angry Buddha. No, it's wild. Doesn't fit in any kind of a box. Totally outrageous, right? This is the pure version of how chaotic, bursting, busy, full, like amazing, like sheer abundance that this whole samsara nirvana dream dance thing, and like how to not break under pressure. I mean, either it's so beautiful and it's like, so beautiful, I can't take it. Or it's, oh, so horrible, I can't take it. Like, how to be like, dream and be fully in it. Not dream, I'm out. Dream, I'm in. Because it's just a dream. That's the Bodhisattva response. It's a dream. I am fully all in with every single way of worlding. No preference. Real quick, you want to go?
Yeah, so with that said, what you just said, put confidence in there. So how do you have confidence in that?
Mhm.
Like that's a pretty 0 to a million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right?
How does the confidence?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
They say you can make aspirations. I mean, I always found that very important, you know,
Yeah.
to become a bodhisattva, that you ask, you know, may I have the skillful means one day to actually help people?
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just what I think is the best thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
but actual skills to help people.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah, so where I'll go with that, Gabriella, is like, it's like, okay, it's enough. If it was enough to just be like, be natural, right? Then like job done, you know, like be natural. Okay, every moment, just be natural. Remember, be natural, be natural, be natural. The thing is habitually, we get to a version of that. Like, this is my way of being natural. I'm natural, or whatever our specific expectation of naturalness is. So like, how do we potentiate the space? Like, how do we like to lift off and like really fly in the openness? How do we like launch it? Aspiration. Be like kind, bright, connected, warm, fresh. Relax. You like usher the naturalness. That's all kinds, secondary conditions. You like give it a tone. Put on a background track. Set the things in a way. Like, this is all secondary, supportive, skillful, mean stuff. Like, you give it a vibe. You like ripple it in a certain way. And then you relax and enjoy and just with it. Like, so it's like always, it's like, that's, I mentioned quickly, kindfulness. I think it's like, sounds clever, but it's really powerful. It's not mindful. Like, you're blank and you're just blankly aware. Like, you actually flavor it with kind and be aware. Or like bodhicitta on, that's relative truth bodhicitta, and absolute bodhicitta openness. So you do both. And the power of aspiration is gigantically important. Like Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche in his last winter teachings, he said, the most important activity of a bodhisattva, making aspiration prayers. If we had the capacity to actually heal and help and serve exactly as the perfect doctor who could just knew exactly the right medicine for every context and world and being and moment and mood and texture, then we're like very high bhumi bodhisattva. But I'm not there yet. And if you're not like, the power of aspirations is like, I want to be like that. Like, I want to be that attuned, nuanced, elegant, responsive, dynamic, in touch, alive, fully, like a bodhisattva or a Buddha. That potentiates it happening. They say all the Pure Lands, all the ways that these Buddha activities later, when their activities all spontaneous, why does it shape in a certain way? These later Bhumi Bodhisattvas, they very clearly, they're like, it's because it's the result of these previous aspirations that they like seeded. And so to your point, the confidence, how do you seed it? How do you like make it more fresh? Short moments, many times. Guru Rinpoche said, especially for turbulent, degenerate times, wild times, chaotic times, irregular rhythm times, cross-pollinating, this and that, unexpected, short moments many times. Not an hour of just being silent like a statue. If we can do that and it's 100% alive, fresh, on, bodhicitta, on, great. Like, we're really like getting really good at being natural. But if we can't turn it on for an hour and it's on fresh, start with a second. Flash it on. Kind, compassion, love. Turn it on. There's tons of methods to do that. And then release it. And just let that 1 second be like sipping the cup with like full rigpa on. The immeasurable benefit of that, like literally a moment of actually taking impermanence to heart, the Buddha taught in the sutras, is like more powerful and meritorious than filling the entire universe with jewels as offerings to all the Buddhas. 1 second of really, really allowing impermanence to permeate your mind. That just means fresh. Just means like you're really like letting naturalness, you're really letting the gong resonate. And you're like, I will be moved. We shouldn't overlook the power of a really high quality moment. That's why potentiate the space, set the scene, set the mood. One wisdom aha moment can be the defining fork of your life. It's not like in this hour we share, if we don't get 21 wisdom aha moments, like it was no good. You know what I mean? Like one will serve you for like a long time. Like we can look back on our lives and be like, that, I didn't know at the time, that was a moment that totally changed my life for the better. And like, what we're trying to do is get ourselves to be like wisdom prone, like ready and available. The readiness of a practitioner, that's all about what Nundro is, foundational practice. Setting the positive, really nutritious, helpful, healthy conditions so that wisdom spontaneously dawns. Nundro is all about getting the setup well so that we're just not in the way of wisdom happening, because it's happening already. But we don't trust it because we don't have confidence. And so we need to like take little steps, like positive virtue, positive grasping, positive, it's called merit. Take steps to set up a good field that's ripe and ready for it to just be itself without us trying. First, we make very intelligent, virtuous, grounded, practical effort by following all these great wisdom teachings we've received. They're just like, this is like fruits on a tree, just like these fruits of Dharma, like the real authentic Dharma is just everywhere now. Take one, enjoy it, and it's not enough to just bite it once, but like again and again and again, short moments many times. Get really confident this way of being, and it's just how it is. One high quality moment. And then the main secondary support is to remember. Refresh. Like, I don't like computer metaphors because I'm not a machine, robot, whatever thing, but like re-click that. Like, just re-look, reactivate, like insert these little pauses. And the whole thing with egoic fixation is like, it'll hijack every different skillful thing we do. It'll totally rope it in. At noon, every day, I'm going to stop and look at Rigpa. Like, very soon, that will be an egoic activity. Like, we're just so good at it. So we need to keep refreshing the skillful means. And so that's Vajrayana path of skillful means. Like, it's like, that's a very appropriate fix, like feature, response for like a time when like it's so about being distracted. Looking outside and forgetting to like be like, what's happening here? Instead of recognize it's a dream first. A little bit of like, wait, how do I get a like kindfulness thing going? And then engage. Like whatever it is to like involve the like our Buddha nature and then say something or do something. That's called skill. And whatever helps us remember that, remind ourselves, it's called path. And we like, yeah, there's so many paths. But do it, and then kind of the whole thing is like keep doing it and doing it in a way where our ego doesn't hijack. That's why a great example is like Eightfold Noble Path. Or like View, Meditation, Conic Fruition. It's really hard for the ego to hijack an Eightfold Noble Path. It can hijack mindfulness. Not a problem. Make mindfulness proof. But right livelihood, right speech, right effort, right view, right understanding. Can the ego hijack all 8 at the same time? It's kind of hard. It's this coordinated network ecology of like, Buddha's like, all right, you think you're good, ego. All right, I'll give you the 8 things you have to care for at the same time. Maybe one of them lets wisdom in that the ego can't really get around this time. And that's like a more moment of like being available and ready to be natural. The Dharma is so amazing. Reality is amazing. Yeah. I mean, anyone who hasn't shared or wants to kind of open before we do a pause and then have lunch for anyone who wants and stuff. Byron?
Yeah. I was wondering, actually, if you could just, there's like a lot coming up, but what you just touched on, how the 8-fold noble path, and then ego not being able to get into all of them at the same time. So how do you see that playing out?
In what way? You say more.
Well, how do you see ego hijacking something?
I mean, a handy thing I've found is like, if ever we do or say something, and after we do it, it's very easy to insert in silent parentheses. That's why I'm so special.
Uh-huh.
Ego hijacked it.
Totally.
That's a helpful little thing for me.
Definitely.
So is that, and
Oh, that's good. Thank you. That's good. Yeah. And that's such a thing. Like, I'm so attached to identity
yeah,
in so many
me
ways.
too.
And like, it's hard. Like, you know, you read like the essence of the great masters. Like, whew, like, dude.
Yeah.
They go to the, you know, like go to the mountain, do all this stuff. It's like, oh hell yeah, like homage to the noble ones.
Yeah.
But like, also, I'm just like realistically,
Yeah,
it's like I aspire.
Yeah.
I aspire.
yeah.
You know, like how wonderful, and yeah, there's just a lot of distractions.
Yeah. When you say the word realistically, like, but realistically,
Okay, so
like, what does that mean
so
for you?
realistically, in I guess in my world,
Yeah,
realistically, I'm attached to appearances.
yeah,
Like, I take
yeah.
it for being really real,
yeah.
and like
With ya.
it's I don't have the habit cultivated of like seeing everything as a dream.
Totally.
Like, I mean, we're working
Yeah.
towards it, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but
So what do
there's
you
a lot
find
of
that's been
clinging
helpful
stuff.
for you to like see a little more like it's a dream?
Definitely the aspirational thing,
Yeah.
like no doubt, and then aspirational thing, and like practicing the 6 paramitas as much
Yeah.
as possible.
What makes it harder to recognize it's a dream?
When I like get really churned up and involved with like doing things, like when I'm like, I gotta do this, like I gotta
Hmm.
go do this and get
Yeah,
this
yeah.
done, and
Feel it?
then I gotta go do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah. So then what can you do if you want to have more dreamlike nature? Like, and what can you do?
I mean, you know, to anybody that's like, yeah, I mean, I guess like try to put myself in those conditions and situations that help cultivate like the good habits and stuff.
Yeah, like, so for real, Byron, so we know each other, right? You're
Yeah.
a PSL, right?
Okay.
So like what if always these Kadampa masters are like hit the root? Like if you get to the root of the problem, so many problems are avoided. Preventative medicine. Get to the root, you don't have to do one branch at another. One branch. Just get the root, the tree of samsara is done. Get the root. So like if I can ask, it's not a thing, it's whatever, but like you're like a total, like, you really explore. Like you really have so much enthusiasm to really go into it and explore. So like, because you have that talent, what's the root? Like, why is Dharma, like, what is like where Dharma's, I just can't. Like, what's the, like, I can't do with the Dharma? Like, what's the root?
The root is
For you, I'm not saying general, give me
Yeah,
a theory,
sure,
you know,
sure,
but
sure,
like,
sure.
what's the...
I mean, definitely for me, like, I think it's the attachment to still, like, I guess identity.
Yeah.
Like really, like a attachment to like not wanting to let go of like being cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which part of cool? Like, yeah, if you're cool, if you're down with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, chill. Which part of the identity, like what in like your, like, to be cool, it's like, which part is like, now I'm cool?
I think it's like where I go, like being in this space, I feel cool.
Yeah.
Putting on clothes, certain clothes, I feel
Yeah.
cool. Makes me like, it solidifies the
Yeah, yeah.
processes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you have that? Because that's like a weakness / talent.
Oh,
Because like being in a good space, like that could be a total forte. Like putting on clothes that are like, I'm bodhicitta on, man. Like it's on, because like,
yeah.
hell yeah, bodhicitta on. Like I'm in the zone,
And, like,
bodhicitta
maybe an
on.
offering too, like to like
Yeah.
ease minds, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So then how can you use that, the root that's just like collapses the thing? How can you use that really, whatever that locking is, to be like ninja that?
I mean,
like,
I think definitely just keep coming back to like the like the wisdom aspect, that it's all like there's nothing really there.
Yeah.
Like there's really nothing like it's all like when we look at it, like it's all like what can we find?
Yeah, so what's helped you do that? Like to look in that way where you're like, it's like evaporates. Like what's helped you?
Reflecting. I mean, reflecting, big time.
What's that mean, reflecting?
Like just continuously considering and like all throughout the day as much as possible, like coming back and just this is like, you know, like who am I? You know, like you know, but like who am I? Like asking the question genuinely, like.
And when you're in a good flow, like when is that reflecting easy? Where you're like, oh, this is easy. I
When
keep
there's
doing
joy,
this.
dude. When there's joy.
Boom.
Yeah, for sure.
So use the delight,
Yeah.
but just don't get suckered
But
by
that's
it.
not always easy.
I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. Oh, I would hear more music. I want to taste the thing. I want to be. It's so like a lot. There's like not to get locked in the like, oh, samsara, repeat samsara, joy thing. But there's like this thread of delight, joy, and then we'll go right to you, Jasmine.
Thank you. Actually, that's such a key thing because like I feel like even this can be like you said. There's like it can be another ego game where it's like, oh, I want to do like the Dharma thing really well.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
I want to like, I definitely want to like be a bodhisattva and like help beings.
Yeah.
It's like that's another freaking.
Yeah, we can waste decades doing it.
Anyway,
like that if at minimum. But yeah.
I know. Yeah, I think it feels like a line that like constantly goes back and forth where it's like holding, grasping, and then just letting go of it.
And then what? Okay, so what helps bring the joy for you?
Being around other people.
Yay! We're like really in that same boat. It's so much easier for me to find it when I'm with others. It's so much easier to be like, what about you? For me, when I'm like with a very obvious other, because like, and I was sharing this with James the other day, like there's this world is populated with beings, like subtle beings. Like if I trust the Buddha's teaching, like this every space, this is like overflowing with beings, but I must not trust it enough because then I would never feel alone. Like it'd be like, do the practice and like I really trust it and like I'm just serving beings now, like serving beings. Like, but if there's an obvious one in front of me, it's like easier for my compassion to be on because it's like obvious for me. Like it's a certain layer of density, tension, whatever obviousness that I'm like addicted to, you know, like this is what's real, this layer of obviousness or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad you're around. Like me too. Others, you know. Right. Mutual boost, the joy. Then that means the impermanence. That means a dream. That means like it's not about me. That means like we make a good dream together forever. I'm glad we're on the Forever Vajra Dream Team. I mean, we all are actually. We're all great grandchildren of these noble ones. Like it's just a question of like how long it'll take us to be like, I am amazing, and this is important, and I'm like gonna just show up to my like to my nature. Like I'm gonna finally just be like, yes, I will be serious, which means like joyful. I will like have this on. Yeah, Jasmine, and then we'll like do the moment of meditation and pause.
Yeah, I mean, kind of bouncing off of that and
Cool.
Connecting to the first question I had coming here, like how to make the best dream possible. I do feel like there's more compassion and love and connection to others when I feel joy and therefore like it does feel like the ego kind of starts to disappear. But then at the same time, a lot of guilt starts creeping in whenever you think how to make the best dream possible, and it's hard to let go of, or it's hard to know. It feels like I'm making the best dream possible, and even sometimes amongst groups like this, feels like we're making the best dream possible for a small number of people.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It just feels like I don't know how to spread that.
Yeah.
And then I feel guilty.
Yeah.
How about everyone outside of this room right now? Like, they're not feeling the love and the joy. Like, I don't know. And then when I leave some like a space like this, you forget that you want to help others. And so
you're so smart.
I feel.
I mean, for real.
Thank you. Like I feel the joy in places like this, but and the desire to be good. while here, but then
Yeah.
But then when you take the subway,
yeah, exactly.
you know,
You just
and
forget
you're
about it
completely
all.
reactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, how do you make the best dream possible? But
Yeah.
how do you? I mean, you touched on a lot of that today.
Yeah.
So I guess I also want to say just I'm grateful for the teaching.
Yeah. So many masters have really, almost all of them, they say, keep a rhythm. Some kind of regularity with like touching back into fresh, confident being or whatever we call it, bodhicitta or that goodness, to like have it be some kind of a regular thing. So we start to get more of a like finesse with it or familiarity, an ability to recognize. Yeah, it like starts to be a rhythm, like a drum. It's like we know how to, okay, feel like you, it's like if you get good, it's like you know that you ring the bell. And like after you ring it, you don't have to keep ringing it again for it to be on. It's on. But it only has a certain duration before it's like real world is now or something. The real world. And then you have to like re-ring it. And so it's like that just again ringing it, like it's like we need to find our ways to like, there's the more formal ways of like, I will just re-ring the bell of goodness and bodhicitta or whatever, like in some kind of a regular pattern that suits oneself. Usually it's like more fresher for most people in the morning and doable. So it's like Tinley Norba Rinpoche, one of His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche's sons, he said we should do Dharma in a way like it's short enough where in the end we can feel good about it. Like it was a good session and like it didn't drag on like longer than we thought and now we feel bad. It's kind of like and like it, like you end the session in a way where it's like sealed and it's like the offering is made and then you can rejoice in that, but then you have to make the offering again. And that's where the rhythm is. Like make it short and sweet enough where it's like high quality, like, yes, this is authentic me showing up. This is my goodness on. Like ring the bell, it's on. And then just really do have to find a way to like reconnect. Like, and I think somehow the very funny, really tragic, dangerous, totally unrealistic expectations somehow that's like really being shoved down all our throats is somehow we have to fix this whole world simultaneously and it's all, are we going to do it right now or not? It's just be like, we have to fix all of samsara according to like what we know now, and if we don't, we failed. Or pick samsara, pick like a town or my life or today. Like they're all really hard to, I mean, the idea of that we're gonna like somehow be good enough to like saran wrap the thing and like total, it's all great all the time because we manage to control it all. That is like samsara mode. That is like a fundamental, that's literally just like, it doesn't work. So in trying to act like, trying to be like, I'm enlightened in some way where I actually can auto-tune with all the beings exactly with utter finesse and joy and delight spontaneously. Like we aspire for that. And that's where like we use our formal beliefs and concepts and good, like rigorous thinking to like have those aspirations be good. And like we just have the amazing fortune that like there's like like His Holiness Dudra Rinpoche, he like was revealing terma. At a certain point he stopped revealing his own terma. He was like, these keep coming, but like there's like not people here who want to use them, and there's already enough. And so many of these like aspiration prayers and sadhanas that are part of the Kama lineage of oral instruction that have been passed from like mouth to ear to mouth to ear, from like they're there, they're ready, they're available, they're intact, and people aren't using them. So I don't want to add more when we already have what we need. Like we're just in a total abundance of Dharma right now. And part of the problem is like, we like want to survey the million Dharma things and then pick. Like we kind of, it's a little more functional to like find the one that like has that heart resonance, like kind of easy. Like it's like, whoa, what's that? Like kind of like put some time and care and attention in that as a way to like refresh, to like re-ring the bell. And then when that gets stale or like our ego co-opts it or whatever, like there's so many other really reliable things, and it's not like there's not in battle. Like these aspiration, it's not like the prayer of Kunta Zampo is so much better than the Avatamsaka Sutra or something. It's like they're doing different things, different mandalas, different worlds and fields and stuff. And we don't need to do them all at once, because that's what an omniscient Buddha does. We can aspire to do it. But like if we have a high quality moment of freshness where it's like on, and we learn to just, this is all in Tibetan Buddhism, especially Dzogchen, is called have total confidence in the view. The first and most important point is like knowing with no doubt this is Rigpa, or this is wisdom and compassion and power on right now. And to really get good of this, identifying it with total clarity on. All the effort needs to go into that first. Getting super clear on is this wisdom, compassion on or not? That's the big main point. And then all the next things will be, how do I sustain that? And these great masters say,